My child, stop for just a moment. I know this world has you running after success, running from pain, running through noise that never seems to end. But right now, I plead with you, please hear this before it's too late. This is not just another message. This is a sacred invitation straight from heaven. A message meant just for you, not for the crowd, but for your soul. For you, the one who's weary, confused, and longing for something real. You used to think I didn't see you, that I didn't hear you. But today I want you to know, I was there, in your tears. I was there on those nights when you almost gave up. And I'm still here waiting for you to hear this. Don't look away. Don't tune out. Because in the words that follow, you will find the answer your soul has been aching for all these years. My beloved child, today I sit with you to whisper words that only your heart can truly understand. Life isn't easy. I've never promised it would be. But I did make one unchanging promise. I will walk with you. Every moment, every breath, whether you're aware of it or not, I've been near, waiting for you to turn around, to lift your eyes and realize that my loving gaze has been following your every step. I see how hard you're trying, even when no one around you notices. You pray in silence, sacrifice quietly, forgive without being repaid. I see all of it. Not a single prayer of yours has been wasted. Not a single tear has fallen without touching my heart. I've etched every sigh of yours into the palm of my hand. You have never been abandoned. Remember this, my silence is not my absence. It's preparation. Just as a seed lies hidden beneath the soil before it can break forth, many blessings in your life need time to rise at the right moment. What you're going through is not punishment, but refinement. Each hardship is a furnace, molding you into someone stronger, deeper, and closer to me. There will be times when you're misunderstood, falsely accused, slandered without a chance to explain. You'll feel the sting of injustice and want to quit. But I tell you, stand firm. The opinions of people do not define you. Truth stands on its own, and I will be your defender. When everything else crumbles, remember, your strongest fortress is not your reputation, your wealth, or your wisdom. It is me. I am your refuge. I am the open arms that welcome. I am the shield that covers you when the world shakes. I know you're tired. I know you've gone so far that stopping feels like the only option. But let me remind you of this. Every step you take holds value. No matter how slow, no matter how small, if you keep holding my hand, you will not be lost. I am using every small act of love you offer. A kind word, a weary smile, a quiet act of forgiveness. Not only to transform you, but also to transform those around you. Nothing is random. No one is anonymous in my kingdom. And you are irreplaceable. I chose you before this world began. Not because you're perfect, but because my love for you is unconditional. I see the deepest wounds you carry, the painful memories no one else knows. But I also see the light within you, the dreams you're even afraid to speak aloud. I know you long to live with purpose, to know that your life matters in this chaotic world. So let me guide you, step by step. Don't worry if you don't see the whole path yet. Just walk by faith. Because every time you choose me, you shed another old layer and step closer to the true identity I created in you. You used to think you were weak, but it's in that weakness that my power is made perfect. When you say, I can't do this anymore, I say, let me carry it. When you fall, I don't look at you with judgment. I run to you, lift you up, and wipe away your tears. You don't need to prove your worth to me. You are already enough, simply because you are mine. I rejoice every time you say thank you, even when it hurts. Every time you pray with an empty heart, it delights me. These small acts are signs of a mature faith. Sometimes I don't respond immediately because I'm teaching you endurance. Sometimes I respond in ways you never expected because I know what's truly best for you. Pay attention. I'm often at work in the smallest details of life. A sudden phone call, a well-timed word, a moment you once thought was coincidence but turned out to be divine. There was once a man named Matthew. He lived in Houston, Texas. He was a wealthy engineer, cold and distant, who lost his faith after the sudden death of his wife. One night, while cleaning out the garage, he stumbled upon an old Bible she had left behind. Curious, he opened it and found a verse she had underlined. I am with you always, even to the end of the age. That one line lit something in his soul. From that night on, he was never alone again. He began talking to me like to a best friend. And from there, he began serving the homeless, those forgotten by society. Nobody knew his name, but in heaven, he's a hero. And you, if you let me touch your life, you too can become someone like that. I have given you a future. Not a perfect one, not one without pain, but one full of purpose. A journey where each joy is deeper because it came through trial. Each victory is sweeter because it cost tears. And every breath is precious because it's lived in my presence. Let my love become the foundation of your life. Not a fleeting emotion, but a steady ground for your decisions, your relationships, your dreams. I want you to live fully, not just exist. To live with gratitude, with wide open eyes and a heart that still feels wonder. And even when the world tries to pull you down, remember, you were made to rise. You carry my image, my light, my mission. Don't let fear hold you back. Don't let the lies of the enemy make you forget who you are. In the days to come, I'll keep speaking to you, through dreams, through others, through peaceful silence. Keep your heart soft, your ears open, because I never stop speaking. And every time you pause, take a deep breath, look up and whisper, Lord, I need you. Heaven rejoices. Because you, my beloved sheep, didn't give up. My precious child, if you're still here and still listening, it's because your heart is still searching for something sacred. Something beyond logic, beyond all the answers people have ever given you. And I tell you the truth, what you've been searching for is me. Not a rigid doctrine, not an old religion, but me, the one who lives, who breathes, who loves you, and who has been waiting for you every single day. Maybe you've asked, Lord, if you love me so much, why do I still feel so empty? Why the restless nights, the questions without answers, the dreams that seem to crumble one by one? I've heard that cry, the quiet aching in your soul. I am not unfamiliar with pain. When I walked the earth, I wept. I felt loneliness. I was betrayed. I was mocked. I even pleaded with my Father to take the cup of suffering from me if possible. So yes, I know what it feels like to want to give up, but not be able to. I know what it's like to live and yet not feel truly alive. But do you know something, beloved? The miracle isn't in being okay all the time. The miracle is in the fact that you're still here, still believing, even just a little. Faith isn't the absence of doubt. It's the choice to come back to me, even when nothing makes sense, even when the world around you is falling apart. That choice, that fragile, quiet yes, is real faith. The kind of faith that shakes heaven. Do you remember the woman with the issue of blood? She had no name in the story, no status, no one believed in her. But she believed that if she could just touch the hem of my robe, it would be enough. That small touch, lost in a crowd, buried in 12 years of suffering, was enough to make me stop. I felt power go out from me. I felt the faith that trembled up from the depths of despair. And I said, Daughter, your faith has healed you. You see, just one touch can change everything. And I want you to believe like that a tearful prayer, a faint whisper in the night, I need you, Lord, can move my heart. I don't measure the strength of your prayer. I see the sincerity of your heart. You need to know, there are moments when I choose to act in silence, not because I'm doing nothing, but because I'm doing something deeper, longer lasting, more enduring. In the hidden places of your soul you cannot yet see. Just like the farmer who cannot see the roots growing beneath the soil, but still believes the harvest will come. I am tending your life that same way. What you've called delay is really preparation. The not yet you've heard is really wait a little longer, I'm doing something better. I want you to stop comparing your journey to someone else's. Each person has their season, their timing, their design, crafted before they were even born. When you see others flourishing, don't lose heart. When you feel behind, don't blame yourself. You are not a product of failure. You are a masterpiece in progress, a divine project under construction. What you're going through is not a detour. It's formation, it's refinement, it's the sacred fire shaping you for the purpose I've already spoken over you. Never forget, every great saint once felt small. David was just a boy, overlooked by his family. Paul was once a persecutor of the church. Mary was a young girl with no status. But I chose them, and I chose you. Not because you're good enough, but because I am. Not because you're capable, but because I am the one who does the impossible. My beloved, I need you to start rejecting the voice of condemnation. The enemy will always try to drag you back to your past, to remind you of the mistakes, the regrets, the shame you thought you buried. But I say this, if you've confessed it, if you've turned away from it, then I've already forgiven it. Not in the way the world forgives, with conditions, with bitterness lingering, but fully, eternally, completely. Though your sins are red as scarlet, I will make them white as snow. Don't live as though you still owe me a punishment. The cross already paid it in full. My blood was enough. There is nothing left for you to carry. Now I want you to live in grace. Not grace to live recklessly, but grace to live freely, free from guilt, free from fear, free from the chains of people's expectations. Look back at all the times I've rescued you. The moments you didn't think you'd make it, but somehow you did. The nights you were on the edge and something pulled you back. That wasn't luck. That was my hand. I'm not only the creator of the universe, I am the keeper of your details. I know every hair on your head. Not even a sparrow falls to the ground without my awareness. And if I care for a sparrow, how much more do I care for you, my beloved? Don't be afraid of change. Don't fear when certain relationships begin to fade. Don't panic when doors close. Sometimes I must remove something good to make space for something better. Sometimes I have to prune the dead branches so that the fruitful ones can thrive. And sometimes the silence you feel is not an emptiness, it is sacred space, holy ground. If you're in a season of waiting for answers, for miracles, for change, remember, waiting is never wasted. It is the sacred season where I test hearts, deepen roots, and teach you to love me not for what I do, but simply for who I am. And when the waiting ends, the harvest will come, abundant, unexpected, and greater than anything you've prayed for. I don't just want you to be a good servant. I want you to be my child. You are a child before you are a worker. Before you serve me, you must be loved by me. Before you walk, you must be healed. And if your heart today still bleeds from wounds, I don't ask you to fake strength. I ask you to simply come as you are, so I can heal you. No pretending, no masks. Show me the wounds that haven't healed, the corners you've avoided, the places in your soul you fear to face. Because wherever you are weak, there I will be strong. My beloved child, if you're still here listening to me, it tells me that deep within your soul, there is still a longing for something more real than anything you've ever touched. You've weathered many seasons, disappointment, betrayal, crushed dreams, but those very things have shaped who you are today. Not perfect, but courageous. Not widely seen, but fully chosen by me. I want you to understand, faith doesn't mean you're never afraid. Faith is knowing fear, yet choosing to take the next step anyway. Do you remember the time my disciples crossed the lake at night? The waves rose, the winds howled, they panicked, thinking they were going to die. And it was in that chaos I came. Not in a boat, not in the way they expected, but walking on the water. They thought I was a ghost. But I said, "It is I. Don't be afraid." The same is true for you. When life feels out of control, when what you once understood no longer makes sense, don't forget, I am still coming toward you. Maybe not the way you imagined, but exactly the way you need. Sometimes I arrive through the words of an unexpected friend. Sometimes through a verse you've read 100 times, but this time it pierces your heart. And sometimes I come in the stillness, when you're alone in the dark. I'm there, closer than your breath, deeper than your pain. I know you carry wounds, old ones, maybe from childhood, maybe from someone you trusted, maybe from words others have long forgotten but you've never been able to erase. Wounds that don't bleed, but still hurt deep inside. And you think I don't understand. But remember, I bore every wound humanity could ever inflict. Every whip, every nail, every insult, every scornful stare, I endured it all. Not to make you feel guilty, but so that you would know you are not alone. You don't have to fight alone, because I already fought for you. And dear one, don't think you have to do something grand to matter in my kingdom. Sometimes what makes me smile the most are the smallest things. A meal shared with someone hungry, a kind word given to someone weary, forgiveness offered quietly where no one else can see. Heaven doesn't count likes. Heaven measures faithfulness in the small things. And you are doing far better than you think. Don't let this world steal your light by convincing you that you're not enough. No one is ever enough on their own, except me. And because I am enough, you can rest. You can breathe. You can live without always needing to prove your worth. You are already worthy, because you are mine. In the days ahead, you'll face choices. Some will be difficult. You may need to say no to something that once felt safe, or goodbye to someone who once felt familiar. But I tell you, courage isn't the absence of pain. It's the decision to be honest with the voice within your soul. I will give you the wisdom to discern what is from me and what is not. Just listen. Don't rush. Peace will be your sign. If something stirs confusion, anxiety, or unrest, it's not from me. But if something, even if challenging, brings stillness to your heart, that's me. I will open doors no one can close. And I will close doors that, if you forced open, would only lead to deeper hurt. Don't panic when a door shuts. It might be protecting you from something never meant to be yours. Do you know what brings heaven more joy than anything else? It's not your perfection. It's your return. One sinner who repents causes more celebration in heaven than 99 who never strayed. So if today you feel lost, don't run away. Come home. You don't need a speech. You don't need to have your life all fixed up. Just come. Just take a step. As you are. I'll take care of the rest. And someday, when you look back over your life, you'll see my fingerprints everywhere. In what seemed like coincidences, in unexpected meetings, in those times you just barely escaped danger. But nothing was coincidence. It was my hand. Quiet grace, patient love, and my eyes, they never left you. Not for 1 second. There was once a woman named Elena, living in New Jersey. After losing her daughter, she fell into deep alcoholism. No one believed she could change. Her family walked away. Friends cut ties. One night, she sat by a river, ready to end it all. But just then, a homeless boy, 8 years old, walked by, handed her a piece of bread and said, "Ma'am, God told me to share this with you." Elena wept all night. The next morning, she checked into rehab. She was never famous. She wasn't rich. But today, she serves in a center for single mothers, a place I now use to save many lives through her. And child, I have a journey like that for you too. It may not look like anyone else's. It may raise eyebrows. But I don't need you to be understood by everyone. I need you to be faithful. Faithful in the small steps. Faithful when no one sees. Faithful even when the prayer hasn't been answered yet. And then you'll see, what I build with my hands, no one can tear down. I never promised you wouldn't cry. But I promise every tear will have meaning. I never promised you wouldn't fall. But I promise that every fall will be a chance to rise stronger. I never promised you'd understand everything. But I promise everything, even the hurt, will work together for your good. Now take a deep breath. Let it out. Gently. That breath is proof you're still alive. Proof that I am still breathing life into you. And if you're still breathing, your journey isn't over. There is still goodness ahead. Still pages to turn. Still springtimes waiting to bloom. So keep holding my hand. My beloved child, I know there are days when everything feels too heavy. Days when you wake up with a weight on your chest, when before anything even begins, you already want to stop. Maybe it's an unhealed worry, a reopened wound, or simply the feeling of being too small in a world that feels overwhelmingly big. But let me tell you this, you don't have to carry the whole world on your shoulders. You don't have to do it all on your own. You have me, and I am the one who created this universe, yet I care deeply about every small movement in your heart. I have never expected you to be a superhero. I only want you to be you. Fragile but honest, weary but sincere, broken but still coming home. I don't look for perfect people. I look for hearts willing to admit they need a savior. And when you do that, I never turn you away. I don't distance myself. I run to you. I wrap you in my arms like a father running to his prodigal child. I don't ask, "Why were you so foolish?" I simply say, "You're home. Come inside. The celebration has already begun." If you've ever thought I had forgotten you just because you couldn't see me moving, then you've misunderstood. What your eyes can't see, your soul can still feel. I've been working, in silence, in persistence, in love, behind the curtain of your life. Just like roots grow quietly beneath the soil, I've been deepening your foundations so that when the time for blooming comes, you'll stand firm, even in the fiercest storms. Let me tell you a secret. No season lasts forever. Winter will pass, spring will come, and your heart, even if it's been frozen by sorrow, will learn to feel again. to laugh, to love. You'll see light again, not just with your eyes, but with your soul. I placed something inside you that the world can't take away, the ability to heal. No one can steal that unless you surrender it. You must also remember this. You don't need to be liked by everyone to have value. Never trade the truth inside you for the approval outside of you. Don't lose yourself in trying to be accepted. I have already accepted you. And my love isn't based on your performance or success. It's based on one thing alone. You belong to me. There will be people who won't understand you. Moments when you are misunderstood. But none of that reduces your worth in my eyes. While others judge you by your past, I see your potential. When they remember your failures, I remember my promises. When they see your scars, I see your victories. I see a future still unfolding, a beautiful story still being written. If you've ever wished you were stronger, better, more prepared, hear me say this. You already have enough, because I am the missing piece. And with me, you are never lacking. What I need from you isn't a perfect plan. It's a willing heart. I know the storms you've been through have made you cautious. You've pulled back. You've stopped trusting so easily. But don't let old wounds close the door on new grace. I'm not like the ones who hurt you. I don't promise and forget. I don't come and then disappear. I don't love you today and withdraw tomorrow. My love has no expiration. And did you know, I once sat on a hill and wept because my people were like sheep without a shepherd. I felt the ache of losing a friend. I carried shame that wasn't mine. I bore sin I never committed. So yes, you can come close to me. Don't be afraid. I understand. I've been there. And I have never stopped loving you. Not even for a second. Not even when you turned away. And I want you to know this too. Living is more than just surviving. I didn't create you to simply wake up, work, eat, sleep, and repeat. I made you to live deep, to live fully, to live meaningfully, to live with passion, with purpose, to love, and to be loved. And if you haven't found that yet, don't stop searching, keep seeking, and when you seek, you'll find me. When you knock, the door will open. When you call, I will answer. Once, a child asked his mother, "Why doesn't God answer me right away when I ask him something?" The mother smiled and said, "Because God wants you to learn to listen, not just with your ears, but with your heart." And it's true, I am always speaking, but you must quiet your soul. Don't let the noise of the world drown out my whisper. Spend time with me, not for long, but for real. Say to me the things you don't dare say to anyone else. Write me letters. Walk with me. Cry with me if you need to. I never grow tired of your voice. In fact, I treasure every moment you share with me. You may think of me as the God of the entire universe, and yes, that's true. But do you know what else? I'm also the God of you and you alone. Because my love isn't divided. It's whole, for each soul. I don't see you through your achievements. I see you through love. And even if today you feel like you've done so little, I still say, I'm glad you're still here. I'm proud you kept going. You didn't give up. You don't have to win every battle to bring me joy. Just don't let go of my hand. One day, every tear will be wiped away. Every sorrow will cease. I will return and every knee will bow. But until that day comes, live as if you knew, with all your heart, that I'm right beside you every moment. Because I am. And now, my beloved, I've poured out my whole heart. I've laid before you everything I see, everything I know, everything I feel, and everything I dream for you. You can hold on to it or set it aside. But remember this, no matter what you choose, I'll be waiting. Waiting for you to smile again. Waiting for you to rest your head on my shoulder. Waiting for you to come home. Waiting for you to realize, I've been here all along. You are not forgotten. You are not replaceable. You are not invisible. You are mine, and my love will never let you go. Amen. My dear child, if you're still listening at this very moment, then this is the sign you once prayed for. Not because you were good enough, strong enough, or holy enough, but because I love you enough to never give up on you. I've said everything, every word, every sentence, not just to move your heart, but to redirect your life, to remind you that I'm still calling you and I'm still waiting. If today you've heard my voice, don't ignore it. Don't delay your return. Don't keep living without knowing, deep in your soul, that there is one who loves you more than you've ever loved yourself. Right now, you have two choices. Walk away and forget, or come back and truly live. Live inside the beautiful plan I designed just for you before time began. If you choose to return, leave your prayer below. Share this message with someone who needs to hear it, because maybe, just maybe, you're the bridge that will help save another soul. And before you go, remember this: I am always here, always loving you, always listening. I am Jesus, and you are mine.